This is the Wrestling Replay. I am Cato. Welcome to episode number 20, Monday Night Raw edition. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. First and foremost, if you're new to this channel, please go ahead, hit that like, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Anytime we drop a video, you'll be the first one to see it. If you're a repeat viewer, you already did that. So let's go ahead and jump into what we got to talk about today. Where I really want to start at is the fact that we have Cody Rhodes out, Randy Orton out, Sasha Banks and Naomi walking out of the company, and Rhea Ripley on the shelf right now as well. Because this is really affecting all of the storylines I think that's taking place on Monday Night Raw. I think it's affecting how storylines are being presented, and it's also showing a big shift in things that was not supposed to take place yet. That's how I feel personally. Now, with that said, let's talk about this Judgment Day and Rey Mysterio feud that we got going on right now. I don't think Judgment Day was supposed to even break up yet. Me personally, I think Edge is still supposed to be in Judgment Day. He was going to help get this group over. I don't know if Finn Balor would have joined or if it would have been somebody else, but I think he would have still been getting more heat on this group. Right now, we see a situation where Damian Priest defeats Rey Mysterio on Monday Night Raw. Last week, we seen Finn Balor. He defeated Rey Mysterio on Monday Night Raw. Lucky it's a situation where it's someone like Rey Mysterio where he can go out and lose 3, 4, 5 matches in a row. At the end of the day, he's still going to be over. The fans are still going to love him. I mean, let's face it, he's ready to celebrate 20 years inside the WWE next week. And I think next week episode is where we're going to really see things pick up. But more importantly, Judgment Day, they need those wins. They need to notch those wins on baby faces like Rey Mysterio so they can start to gain heat as a faction. Now, what I'm surprised is they didn't do any real underhanded attacks or anything like that that would have kind of really pushed them over the edge and really gave them some real heat with the fans. After they attacked Edge, I feel like they should have started attacking all of our favorite baby faces in that same manner. I wouldn't be surprised if next week at Madison Square Garden, we see these guys try to give Rey Mysterio or Dominic a concerto, and that's when Edge finally, appears and saves Rey or save Dominic, whoever, on the 20-year anniversary of Rey Mysterio being in WWE. I could see something like that happening. Now, as far as Judgment Day goes, I'm not sure exactly how this group is really going to function, how this group is really going to get along after the Edge situation. I feel like that was something that was supposed to take place way later in the year, if not Survivor Series or a Royal Rumble. This was possibly supposed to be like a WrestleMania style matchup where Edge come back and he has his alliance and he's going to take on this new Judgment Day group who kicked him out. Now with us having to fast track everything because we're losing star power. I mean, think about it. We got to see Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman on Monday Night Raw, the Usos on Monday Night Raw. Next week we're going to get Roman Reigns. He's going to be on Monday Night Raw. They advertise him being on Monday Night Raw just to kind of spike up the go-home show for SummerSlam. John Cena came back to visit Monday Night Raw. Dolph Ziggler returned on Monday Night Raw. You got a lot of A-plus players that have to come over and kind of keep Raw afloat until they're able to get some of their biggest stars back. So I feel like everything is just being rushed. And this is just one of the main storylines so far that I feel like is being rushed. Now, with that said, like I already said earlier, Damian Priest did notch that win over Rey Mysterio. So my thinking, this is where all the cryptic messages, even as Edge doesn't appear, I think we'll finally get that final video piece where Edge reveals himself as, yes, I'm coming back. Whether it's SummerSlam, whether it's Madison Square Garden, that would be a great place to return. A great night. It's really going to build momentum going into SummerSlam, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does do that. Let's also jump into Bianca Belair. She defeated Carmella to retain her women's championship. Now, like I said, Sasha Banks, Rhea Ripley, and Naomi being out, I feel like that really affected this Raw Women's picture as well. Because now we're right back to where we started at. Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship at SummerSlam once again. We know what happened last time, and to be honest, after seeing Monday Night Raw, I wouldn't be surprised if Bianca Belair actually drops the title. I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to start seeing the man version of Becky Lynch make a return to back to how she used to be. I say that because this match with Carmella take place. Bianca gets a count-out victory, but after the match is where things kind of really start to make a turn. It was a little weird, for me anyway. You see Becky Lynch, she's holding the Women's Championship, drops it on the ground, turn her back to Bianca, and then kind of like just rubs her feet as if she's like kicking dirt up at Bianca and slowly get out the ring. Now, as a heel, to do something like that, it's no way in my mind that once she turned around, I don't think Bianca gives her a KOD. Bianca has to give her a KOD at that point. You have to stand with your foot over top of her, holding up the belt in the air, pretty much letting her know this is my reign, this is my title, I run the division. But what it looked like is Becky Lynch commanded the ring. She walked up the ramp, she smiled, she walked backwards, she took her time, she did everything really slow and meticulous. It kind of made it to the point that Bianca looked like she knew her days were numbered as the champion. So with that said, I would not be surprised if we see Becky Lynch go into SummerSlam and she takes that title back. Now, we also got to see Seth Rollins. He defeated Ezekiel again. Not a bad matchup. I love Ezekiel inside the ring. Ever since he was Elias, I think he was a really good talent that he should have pushed, and he really didn't. We got to see Angelo Dawkins versus Omos. He managed to win via disqualification, which ended up setting a matchup with the Street Profits versus Omos and MVP, which they won again by disqualification, this time being the Usos interfering in the matchup. We've seen Asuka, Dana Brooke, and Alexa Bliss defeat Lacey Ash, Doudrop, and Tamina in a wild matchup where, for some reason, the 24/7 championship was changing hands during the middle of the matchup. But at the end of the day, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, and Dana Brooke win. I still don't understand why you having your legit tag team lose matches. If you're going to have them go out there and just job to everybody that you want to throw together, then at least split them up as a tag team. If you're going to split them up or keep them together, or rather, let them go to NXT where they actually appreciate women tag team wrestling. I think they would be great in NXT, and it's space there. It's not like it's crowded. So they could definitely do a good job in NXT, or let them start winning some matches and bring back those women's championships on Raw and SmackDown. Now, man, there's two more points I got to talk about now that I think about it. So we've seen The Miz, right? We've seen The Miz and Logan Paul. They kind of closed out the show, right? They closed out the show, and it left me, my mind boggled. I don't understand what they were trying to convey, what they was trying to do. I have a theory of what they may have wanted to do, but I'm not sure. So, at the end, we see Logan Paul and Miz. They finally confront each other face to face for the first time since WrestleMania, right? Logan Paul, he's doing a great job. He's telling how he's appreciate the business, how he respects the business. He's doing everything that a babyface is supposed to do. He's saying everything a babyface is supposed to say. He challenged Miz to a match at SummerSlam. The Miz, of course, in heel fashion, says no. He denies it. Sorry, Logan, no match for you at SummerSlam, not with The Miz. He challenged The Miz again. The Miz denies him again. But for some reason, this third time, The Miz goes to the crowd. He asks the crowd, do you want to see The Miz and Logan Paul at SummerSlam? The crowd goes nuts. Of course they go nuts, because in heel fashion, the thing you're supposed to say next is absolutely not. But he says, I accept, and yes, you have your matchup. It was so confusing that him asking the crowd if they wanted to see the match got a much bigger pop than when he said, I accept. When he said, I accept, it was kind of flat. The crowd cheered a little bit, but it was like, okay, I wasn't expecting that. So, essentially, we get The Miz and Tommaso Ciampa leading the beatdown on Logan Paul. Logan Paul starts to fight his way back. I love it. Babyface starting to fight back. The crowd is getting behind him. And then Logan Paul runs out the ring. He runs. You're beating up the heels. You're the face. And you run. what are we doing? If that's not heel 101, I don't understand it. He looks back at him as if, with a smirk, as if he's like saying, I got something for you guys later on or next week or something like that. He doesn't say those words, but the look he gave made it feel like that. Now, if you wanted Logan Paul to escape the ring and drop down and run out, fine, but you could have did it in a way where Logan Paul still looks like the face. Because at this point, I'm kind of confused. You got The Miz, he's pandering to the crowd. You got Logan Paul, he's running from the fight. It's kind of looking like we're getting a role reversal. Now, Logan Paul has plenty of haters. He has a great big fan base, but at the same time, he has a lot of people who hate him. And I think that would have been a great way to capitalize, having one of your biggest, if not the biggest, social media star right now in the WWE brand to, be that hated guy. When he fought Floyd Mayweather, he was hated. People wanted to see him lose. People wanted to see his brother lose. So this was perfect. When he came in with The Miz, they wanted these guys to lose because you got two of the biggest heels right now in the company and nobody likes them. So if we're going to keep it on the track of, hey, everybody's hating Logan Paul, I think we run with it. Go in that direction, but you can't create a storyline one way and then just flip it out of nowhere, because now everyone's confused. It got to the point that afterwards, it was maybe 3 minutes left on Monday Night Raw. Miz had to do another interview, so now your heel is closing out the show as if he got the better of the babyface. If he got the better of the babyface should be laid flat down in the middle of the ring, but that wasn't the case either. So I'm just completely confused about what's going on with Logan Paul and The Miz. And to be honest, I think this match was not supposed to happen at SummerSlam. I think this match was supposed to happen later on down the line, maybe at the Rumble or something like that. But with the A+ players being out, some matches happen to be scrapped. You got to fill those spots up. You got to fill it with star power. And, Logan Paul, at the end of the day, I'm sorry, he's a draw. I think he's going to bring eyes onto the WWE product that aren't normally on the WWE product. So if that equals buying, people buying SummerSlam pay-per-view to watch Logan Paul, hell, they're going to do it. They paid for him to watch him fight Floyd Mayweather. I'm sure Floyd had some, fans, of course, jumping over to watch as well. But Logan definitely brought a fan base. Even if he brought people that will buy the pay-per-view to watch him lose, he's still creating revenue by having people come in and actually spend money with him or with the company or whatever. So great idea, but I think this was kind of rushed. On it, the only way I could see Logan Paul escaping out the ring is if they would have did a situation where The Miz takes a cheap shot, Logan Paul dodges it, Ciampa takes a cheap shot, he dodges that, Miz goes for a clothesline, he ducks that. He just keep making these guys look stupid by constantly missing their dodging their moves, and then he escapes out the ring as if, haha, I'm one step ahead of you guys, I'm smarter than you guys. Then I could understand. Then the babyface still looks like a face. He still looks strong, even though he exited the ring and kind of backed away from the fight. He kind of say, you know what, I'm saving myself for later. I'll see you at SummerSlam, or I'll see you next week, whatever. And then next week he can show up for backup. Perfect. Or you can have one of your ultra baby faces, somebody like Bobby Lashley, who didn't have a match at all on Monday Night Raw, come out, make the save for Logan Paul. Hell, you could have had R-Truth come out and make the save for Logan Paul. Or you was in the hometown of Titus O'Neil. Let Titus come out and make the save for Logan Paul. He would have got a big pop from his own crowd, but they chose to go the direction they chose, and we'll just have to see how things work out when it's all said and done. To be honest, I wouldn't mind seeing a matchup between Logan Paul and Pat McAfee at some point. I feel like these two guys have really big fan bases outside of the ring. It'll be a good clash between SmackDown and the Monday Night Raw. We'll get two megastars, and I think that match will probably be a pretty big draw. I feel like Pat McAfee takes the craft of wrestling serious. I think Logan Paul is going to work hard and take the craft serious as well. He didn't look bad at WrestleMania, to be honest. He looked like the best celebrity that I've seen come in since Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny looked good when he came in, and Logan Paul looked really good when he came in. So maybe that's a matchup we'll get later on. But that's everything that pretty much took place on Monday Night Raw. Let me know what you guys think. This Becky Lynch situation. You think Becky Lynch is going back to the man? Because I feel like her antics and what she did inside the ring with Bianca Belair and kind of just put her on notice. Like, she looked at Bianca Belair as if she was the champion and Bianca was the challenger. As if she was the face, the tough guy, and Bianca was the heel that was scared to make a move. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Let me know what you think in the DMs at The Wrestling Replay on Instagram. That's where we do our giveaways and contests. But that was everything that really took place on Monday Night Raw. Next week, Rey Mysterio 20th anniversary, 20 years inside the WWE. That's amazing. And I think we're going to get big surprises, especially with it being at Madison Square Garden. That was your replay for the week for Monday Night Raw. I'll be back with AEW's Dynamite Fyter Fest week number 2 coming up. That should be exciting. That video will be dropping in a couple of days. For now, I'm Cato. I'm signing out. Peace.